Hi and welcome to my vlog. My name is Mette, you can call me Marie, and I am vlogging here from Denmark. I have taken a place today here at my terrace. Just like last time I filmed here, we still have birds' nests in here, so let's hope that they are just as hot as I am today. That's why I brought the orange juice, and I'm going to correct my glasses a lot today. I can feel it because these glasses have a tendency to slip down my nose when it's hot. So cheers. Skål, that's the Danish word. So I'm still knitting on this orange project I've been talking about in some of the previous episodes, and I wanted to show you this again because I knit a lot of dresses, and I've tried different ways of how to make a t-shirt or a sweater into a dress. So the easy way of course, just making them, you just make them longer. If I knit a dress with a long sleeve, I would say the skirt part, when I need to knit until the knees, which is my preferred length on my dresses, is then I'll use something like the same amount of yarn that I've used on the body without the sleeves. So this I have bought 3 of these, and that should give me a dress. So now I've knitted approximately 10 centimeters from where I divided and put some stitches on hold to make the sleeve. And so this is 10 centimeters approximately. I can just measure it. I have this little pouch that I have different things in. It's my own recipe. The yarn is it's knitted in yarn from A Lonely Sock Lady. You can find her stealth striping sock yarn at her website, A Lonely Sock Lady, and her yarn is very sturdy. She does these amazing colors that are, just as you can see, semi-solids, the stripes, and she's made them so that if you choose a stripe where there is 4 stripes, 4 colors in the colorway of course, then you should have like maybe 4 rows on a sock. So I made this recipe fitting her yarn. It's made for her yarn, and the thing is that when you buy yarn from the Lonely Sock Lady, you get like these micros, what's the 8 to 10 grams of yarn, so that you can see other colors that she make. And this is one of the colors that I got with another colorway I bought for a pair of socks. I have knitted socks in her yarn. I gave those to my dad. I've made these bags. I've made 3 of these bags. 4? I think I've made 4 of these bags. And then I've made gloves that fits the stripes, and I've made fingerless gloves. I can't remember what they're called. They're called fingerless gloves in Danish. Well, so down this I have a measuring tape, and let's see, because this is where I've started talking about. Okay, so it's 14 centimeters. I have figured out that for me to just, before I start doing something like doing like a skirt, I need to knit at least 10 centimeters from the now the word's gone, where the sleeves are supposed to be put in, and then down at least 10 centimeters. If I do 20, it's kind of like where approximately my waist is. I'm not that tall, so some people that might be not 25 centimeters, some might be 25 centimeters, some might be 26 centimeters, but I don't think that less than 10, unless it's a child, would make sense. But now I've knitted those 13 centimeters. Oh, yarn crisis. I have started to make increases here at the side. So I've put in a small stitch marker and a bulb pin, and I have chosen, because this is another yarn crisis. I just lost some of my stitches. Luckily, just like mohair is impossible to unwind. We have a wine up here, and it makes like these little green thingies, and they're all over the table. I thought I had cleaned this area from, but they keep on falling down. So, but the stitch markers, and this, I need to say that this is a gift that I've been given from Maskefabrikken, which is a Danish web shop where she sells cocoa knits, for instance, and she sells yarn and bags. I think she makes some bags herself. I think that's why I started following her, because can't have enough bags, can you? I love this thing. Right now, this is my go-to bag, and it's funny because for a couple of months it's just been sitting in my closet, and I've been like, no, not you today. And right now I am bringing this everywhere with me. Maybe because but these are my favorites. Precious metal stitch markers, because they have these teeny tiny stitch markers, and right at the moment, the most of my projects are on a size 3.5 millimeters or a size 4 millimeter needle. So having these extremely small ones is just perfect, because when I saw these metal ones the first time, also from Coco Knits, I have another set of stitch markers from Coco Knits. They are I think they are the type they call colorful. It's also rings just like this, closed rings, and they I think I chose the medium size. They are big enough to go up to a size 6 needle, I think. But I've just finished a project where I used up all of these stitch markers that are 6 of each size and finish of these, which means there are 18 of the small stitch markers, round stitch markers, and I had used all the small stitch markers in various projects, because I had one project where I used 10 of these small stitch markers. That was on a 3.25 millimeter needle, perfect with these, and I've used some on some other projects. But when I finished the project with the 10 stitch markers in, I had like 10 places on a round where I had to do a increase on each eighth round, so that I made this beautiful flowy skirt. The thing is, when you do a skirt on a dress, you have to pay attention to what kind of material you are knitting in, because a yarn like this, not only is it, you know, light and fluffy and everything, but it doesn't really have that full, like for instance a silk has like a way of draping, and this doesn't really drape. It has like, that's also why there is so many beautiful blouses with kind of like what I have here, like a puffy sleeve, either up here on the shoulder or down here. And when you do that in a mohair yarn, then it'll make this beautiful like shape, because it can, you know, stand on its own, because it doesn't have that drape. So that's the good thing about mohair, but that's also the challenge that I have right now with the skirt, because I don't want the skirt to do like this and stand like a tent around me, because that's not going to look good. So I have the challenge with my body shape, that I am a size 44, 46, and then a 48 around the hips, which in British American sizes is a size 14, a size 16, and a size 18 around my hips approximately. So when I have this shape of my body, bigger hips than I have breast, then it's for a, if I do something that's too straight, then if there aren't enough ease in a project, then it will become very tight around my hips, and I don't like that, because I have like this, how do I say this in a nice non-evil way? I have an issue with the lower part of my tummy, which is kind of soft, because I've given birth 4 times. So that's what happens to a woman's body. And I'm not ashamed, and I don't think that it's gross particularly, but I just like, I won't, you know, show off my breasts, because I think that's inappropriate. It's, or, you know, too short of a dress, something like that. I don't even like, showing this part of my arms because I have a lot of stretch marks from my first pregnancy. I'm looking out the window because they have promised us a thunderstorm today in this part of Denmark, and I am hoping that I won't get too distracted by all the rumbling. And I don't know if you can hear the rumbling, but consider it, cozy, because I'm actually inside and I can't stay here forever because I just saw bird mommy, lurking around because she wants to go up to the nest and feed the small ones. So we are on a timeline. Deadline. Well, so what I'm going to do, because this yarn is going to do it's going to float around me. It's going to be a bit, it holds itself. So how to solve this problem with the yarn and my hips. So what I'm going to try, because when you do things like this, you take a risk, because the risk is that it's not going to look good. And then I have to consider what to do next, because I'm not sure I'm going to unravel this I'm not going to do that. So I have just made 2 increases in each side of this dress, and I think I'm going to do that on each 8th round. So on each 8th round, I am going to increase the number of stitches with 4 stitches. So 7 rounds of stockinette stitch. Why does that word needs to be so hard? It sounds so complicated. And then 1 round with these 4 increases in the side hem, and then I'm just going to continue doing that until the bottom of the dress, and then I'm going to do an I-cord on the bottom of the dress, because that makes it a bit heavier on the bottom, which is a good thing in a dress because you want a dress to stay down, not float around. And when you do increases and make a shape like this, you don't want ribbing unless it's a very, in Danish we would call it a dead yarn, because a dead yarn is a yarn that doesn't have a lot of stretchiness in it, like a cotton yarn is a kind of a dead yarn if there aren't any synthetic fibers in it that challenges the cotton. So and that's when you do things like this, then you need to be aware of that the material and the construction of your dress needs to fit. We just had a really big thunder. Yeah. Well, I'm not afraid. I hope you are neither. That you couldn't hear that. And if you could, that I didn't startle you. Cheers. So, this is just, going round. At some point I'm going to find some smaller needles, not smaller here, but smaller that way around, and do the sleeves. I think I'm going to try to find the other end of this ball of yarn and do the sleeves, because then I can just use all of this yarn and the 3rd ball of yarn, and hopefully the dress will become long enough. And then you might wonder, why are you making it, wider and wider if you want to be sure that it's long enough? Well, this just because that I would rather have a dress that is a bit too short, so I have to wear a skirt underneath, problem solved, then have a dress that when I put the I-cord on it, then I think it's uncomfortable to wear because the I-cord, the I-cord is not stretchy. I haven't tried making an I-cord in a mohair that was stretchy. I have the Cumulus blouse from Petite Knit with the I-cords on every edge, and it was the first time I did an I-cord, and the I-cord on the bottom of the blouse is a bit on the tighter side, which means that it's just, if it was just 5 stitches shorter, I would be in serious problems because my hips would not fit into that blouse at all. It's a wonderful design. I've actually done it several times. I might show you my Cumulus blouses at some point, but not today. Today I wanted to show you these stitch markers and give them my highest recommendation. I'm sure you know Coco knits, because these are, I think, the best. I've tried those from Knit Pro. Also, they are in plastic. They're not horrible, but they are not as, these are just nice to work with. It's, when we sit and knit for hours on hours, I want good tools. I don't want necessarily expensive tools. These are not the most expensive needles you can get. This is Knit Pro Symphony. I swear to these needles. These are my absolute favorite. And these are my favorite stitch markers. And, I don't have a favorite yarn, a favorite yarn brand. I like, these hand-dyed yarns, but I also like regular cheaper yarn. I'm not like it has to be lamb's wool. Period. That's not me. I'm going to, I do this because it's fun. That's also why I'm doing this knit vlog. It's because I think it's fun. I like this, just sitting here and I can talk to you about anything. And this episode was just about, shaping a dress, stitch markers, thunderstorm, cheering in orange juice. It is only orange juice. You might think there could be vodka in that thing, but I'm not that into alcohol. Sometimes when we have guests, but I prefer orange juice. So yes, if you want to see something about the recipe of this, you can go back an episode or two, and then I am talking about the recipe, because now this is the 4th episode, 5th episode. This is the 5th episode, and it's the 4th time I am knitting on this project. So maybe you need to see something else. I think you need to see something else the next time. And I might show you a very complicated knit that I am doing at the moment. Also a dress. I'm doing a lot of dresses right now. On my needles are 1, 2, 3 dresses that I am actively knitting on. 3 dresses, yes. So I think this is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed listening to me talking about how to do skirts, talking about stitch markers, and I hope that you will be back for more knit vlogs with me here in my garden as long as the weather allows it, because what's better than sit outside and knit and have something nice to drink. I'm not sure anything beats that. Do you? I hope you return next time, and until then, have a nice day.